The script says you do intro.
Really? You gonna pull that on me now?
It says right here, Dad does intro. You pull it off.
You just said you do intro. Welcome to Sean's Sports Talk. I'm Sean. This is my co-host Dylan, and we have a very exciting show to talk about. Well,
kind of.
He's very excited to talk about football for some reason.
Wrote it by myself.
Yes, I'm really excited to talk about the last 2 games of Round 1 of the NHL playoffs, which was quite frankly a very exciting weekend of hockey. Even you have to admit that.
Yeah, except when the Avalanche scored a goal. Then it got boring.
And we got some local playoff hockey to talk about as well. So, Dylan, take it away.
So, today I'm going to talk about some Michigan Panthers. Yes, the Michigan Panthers. You've heard of them. If you're a UFL fan, then you know who they are. They play in Michigan. I know, big shocker. So anyways, I think the next game is gonna be a nice game to watch. They're going up against the Argentine Renegades, and I think they're gonna win this one because they're coming off a win versus the DC Defenders, destroying them 38-14.
Wow.
38-14. So I think this is going somewhere with the QB Bryce Perkins, and I mean, seeing as they best the Renegades in some crucial stats like touchdowns or rec yards, yeah, I think they can do this. I think they can do this. However, this is not going to be easy. You want to know why? Because the Renegades quarterback Luis Perez, however, does do better than Perkins with 1,145 passing yards, and their running back Kalen Ballage, I think I pronounced that wrong, is beating Toa Tower in rushing yards with 306 yards versus 233 yards. The Panthers receiver, however, Sayose Marina, though, however, beats the Renegade star receiver Isaiah Winstead 301 yards to 216 yards. So pretty good.
It seems like it's going to be a good matchup.
So far in the season, the Panthers are so far 4-2, and top of their division, the USFL, which is very nice. Good. It's good for the matter. That's actually considered good for Michigan sports. If you're top, it doesn't even matter if you make it to the playoffs, but if you're top in your division, you deserve an MVP. If you're top in your division.
I think we should aim higher than just top of the division, though, Dylan.
Well, baby steps,
Baby steps?
Yes, baby steps.
Okay.
So they've got a total of 1,229 passing yards, 125 first downs, and 825 rushing yards this season. And while they've had 10 fumbles, which that's not a good number, they have only lost 1. So that's pretty good.
That's good.
However, then we hit the hill. So apparently, one of their wide receiver Samson Nakua, also you might know him, his brother Puka Nakua from the Rams. You might know him if you're an NFL fan. Yes, his brother Samson decided to slap a fan. I don't know what team. I don't know why he would do that. I mean, honestly, dude, it's just a fan. What's up?
It was after the Defenders game, and looked like the fan was mouthing off to him. Not that it's excusable to slap a fan, but, some fans get rowdy.
Honestly, wow. So now he's suspended for, I believe it was 4 days. However, this was 4 days ago, so he might be playing on the 10th. But just some news if you want to keep up with the Panthers. So, if they want to go anywhere, you can't just let some mouthing off fan get to you. Like, what's up with that? You can't just slap them.
If you want to win, you got to stop slapping the fans. I'm just saying that.
Exactly.
It's good advice.
Exactly.
Stop slapping the fans.
Well, I unfortunately blabbered on a little bit too much for the XFL. So we're gonna move on to something more interesting, something more that you might know about. The MLB. Except not your favorite teams, the Tigers.
Our favorite team.
Our
his favorite team right here.
Our favorite team. If you want someone to be sure about your team, you have to comment. And we have to make sure you subscribe. Otherwise, your team doesn't get recognized, and I don't even know who you are. So, I have some guesses for the Tigers. Because I gotta say, this is a good year for Tigers fans so far. After winning 3 out of 4 games in the LA series, not to mention Riley Green making history on Friday, that's pretty good. We also had some other stats in there that I forgot to write down because I'm lazy. But overall, they were destroying them this weekend. So I think they're going to try and go for the gold. However, yes, they did do well. Yes, they're playing Colorado tomorrow, who... See you later, Colorado. But I personally don't think, even with top of the division, 22-13 record so far, I don't know if they're going to make it to the championship, to the World Series. I don't think
it's a little early to be making World Series predictions.
I know,
but they're starting off the season strong. Let's hope they can keep the momentum going.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything else, but I don't think this year is going to be the year.
You don't think so?
No. Mm-mm.
See, that you got to go into it with the right. You have to manifest that positivity, that World Series championship.
Dad, we live in Michigan.
Right, but so you have to manifest it. You have to have that positive energy. They're gonna win. I'm just saying.
That's what you said yesterday, or on Saturday.
Yeah, and your negativity caused them to lose.
I don't know what you're
Which
talking
brings
about.
me into the NHL playoffs and the end of round 1, which, like I said before, was a very exciting weekend of hockey. Even this guy has to admit, who hates hockey.
I don't hate hockey.
You act like you do.
What are you talking about?
We had probably some of the most exciting Game 7s I've ever seen. Certainly the most you've ever seen. Starting off Saturday, Colorado Avalanche, Dallas Stars. That game was tense. Let's just say that. That was one of the most tense hockey games I've ever seen. Went for a scoreless first period. Really just an excellent goalie battle. Both games were goalie battles this weekend. They were fantastic. The Avs got put on the board first with a goal by Josh Manson, assisted by Logan O'Connor. And then 31 seconds into the second period, Nathan McKinnon extends the lead.
Woo.
Now, for most of the period, or a good portion of the period, the Avalanche were ahead. We thought the game was kind of a done deal. No, not at all. Mikko Rantanen stepped in and said, you know what, I'm making history today. Actually, I don't think he actually decided that, but it happened.
3 hat tricks.
Not 3 hat tricks.
Fine, 1 hat trick.
Mikko Rantanen, he steps in, scores the first Dallas goal of the game, which is fine. They're 2-1. Avalanche are still up, still looking good. And a couple of minutes later, he does it again with a wraparound shot that bounced off the skate of San Gerard's skate, which I thought was pretty hilarious because you could see it in Sam's face right after it went in. He knew it was his skate.
Mm-hmm.
You expect your defenders to block the puck, but not to bounce it into your goal.
I can only imagine how the Avalanche staff just feels.
Yeah.
Wow, we traded away a really good guy.
Yes.
Oh my, no wonder we're not in the playoffs.
So after that second Rantanen goal, the game is all tied up. And then Wyatt Johnson, assisted by Matt Duchene and Mikko Rantanen, again, he just had a great third period.
With this?
Wyatt Johnson scores, bringing the Stars into the lead. But you know what? That wasn't enough for Rantanen.
No, he has to.
With 3 seconds left in the game, 3 seconds, Rantanen scores his third goal on an empty net, cementing his place in history as the first player ever to score a hat trick in the third period of a Game 7. So, well done, Mikko Rantanen. And yes, if you're the Avs general manager, the Avs staff, you're kicking yourself for letting him get away. Now, I believe he was going to be a free agent anyways, and probably couldn't afford to pay him because they're paying for McKinnon and a couple other pretty expensive players. But man, you got to be kicking yourself. 10 years playing for the Avs, and you trade him away, and he makes history against his old team.
That's what you get moment.
Yeah. I don't think there's any hard feelings, though. It's just, when you're on the ice, you're battling that. But off the ice, they're friends. This brings us to last night's game, which was just as amazing, if not more so.
Snap.
If not more so. The Jets versus Blues, Hellebuck versus Bennington, which for me, I like the symmetry, I guess it's symmetry. Bringing back the battle from the final game of the Four Nations tournament, Canada versus U.S.
That was good.
But Bennington and Hellebuck were battling for their lives last night. It was such a good game. And honestly, the Blues led for most of the game, up by 2 going into the third. And watching the game, we thought it was done with. We thought, you know what? That's it. The Blues are moving on. The Jets are done. False.
Bang!
We were so wrong.
What's up with all of that, guys?
The Jets scored twice in the final 2 minutes of the third period, tying up the game.
And of course, tied up the game. Okay, fine. We're going into overtime.
Yeah, going to overtime.
30 minutes,
For the first overtime period, completely scoreless. Goalie battle, left and right. It was just amazing on both ends. Hellebuck and Bennington were just absolutely fantastic. They made it through most of a second overtime until Adam Lowry, assisted by Neil Pionk.
Pionk. I don't know how to say it.
Sure, we'll say Neil Pionk and Kyle Connor wrapped up the game, scoring the final goal for the Jets, bringing the score 4-3.
And interesting fact here: the only 2 Game 7 matchups to last longer than the 96 minutes in 8 seconds. 8 seconds in 96 minutes it took the Blues on Sunday was a 1939 matchup between the Rangers and Bruins that lasted 108 minutes, and a 1987 game between the Islanders and Capitals for 128 minutes and 47 seconds. The longest Game 7 ever.
That's impressive.
Hold on, I'm going to see, though, real quick. I know there's another game that is very long. What is the longest NHL playoff game? Now, I know there's... Okay. So the longest actual NHL playoff game in history was played on March 24th, 1936, between the Detroit Red Wings and the Montreal Maroons. It lasted 176 minutes and 30 seconds, ending in the 6th overtime.
That's wild. That's a long game.
That was
impressive.
Credit to the guys who had enough stamina.
Yeah, that's
insane.
That's like a full-on sprint for 3 hours. That's wild. Well, so we got some exciting matchups coming this week. I honestly forgot who was playing tonight. I think it's the Golden Knights. I think it's the Golden Knights and the Maple Leafs.
No, the Maple Leafs. No.
Oh, the Panthers and the Maple Leafs. Excuse me, playing tonight at 8. Actually, in a few minutes here, so that might be a fun game to watch or check in on. Golden Knight. So basically, all of the first games of round 2 happened this week. So we'll be checking in later to talk about those and anything else we find interesting in the world of sports. Speaking of playoff hockey, our local Grand Rapids Griffins are taking on the Texas Stars in round 1 of the AHL playoffs. This is actually the second game. They lost to the Stars 4-0 in game 1, which is unfortunate, but it's a good thing. It's best of 7 series, so maybe they can pull it off. Maybe that's their one loss, and they're gonna take the next 4.
Well, let's see what's the score right now.
You want to check in on the score right now?
Yes,
we're gonna do a live check-in on the Griffins game score right now.
Okay.
If we can find it, but do they have what it takes to beat the Texas Stars in round 1? Can they do it? We don't know, but we'll find out.
I doubt it.
You doubt it?
I don't think.
You don't think they've got it? You don't think they got it in them?
Okay, yeah, I don't think.
Well, we'll find the score later. We'll probably check. We'll do a check-in.
Well, look, just you keep talking while I find this.
They are a local team, and it's always good. I actually really enjoy going to AHL games. I grew up going to Chicago Wolves games, which are always a blast. And the Griffins teams are no different.
Oh, that's not a good number. It is 2-0.
2-0. And
2 minutes and 35 seconds in the first.
Okay, again, as we've seen from the other 2 games this weekend, A lot can happen in 2 minutes, and it's only the first period.
The last game. The last game, let me see, right here, in news. Game notes for this. Game 1 recap. They scored 2 goals in the first and second periods. Are we sure?
Hey, again, everyone can have a bad day. Any team can have a bad day. They could pull it off. You don't know. Don't be such a negative Nelly. Don't be such a Dylan Downer.
Is that what it's called now? Being realistic? It's a Dylan Downer? Wow.
You're being a Dylan Downer because they're down in the first period.
Wow. I'm realistic and I'm getting called a Dylan Downer.
You are a Dylan Downer. You have to manifest positivity.
Wow. New achievement. Dylan Downer. Because I'm being realistic.
Anyway, that's all we've got for today. We'll be watching the Maple Leafs and the... Wow, I care so little about that series that I forgot who are they playing against. The Panthers. We'll be watching the Maple Leafs and the Panthers probably in a little bit here, and we will check in later.
And I get to do the outro as it says right here. I totally didn't type down the last 10 seconds. Guess what? I get to do the outro. So, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and comment if you want your idea in the idea box. I'm actually gonna go get that. I'm gonna show you it's real. Y'all see this fat stack of papers? Your ideas can be put in this box. In fact, the next video we might do, unless one of you guys comments, is going to be a reaction vid.
Ooh.
So comment below what you guys want to see. Otherwise, we're reacting to absolute who knows what.
Otherwise, we're doing our own ideas if you guys don't give us ideas.
But your idea will get put in here. Just like,
in the idea box.
Comment. You don't even have to subscribe. You just gotta comment.
You want people to subscribe. We want subscribers.
I also want comments, so.
We want both. Comment and subscribe.
So the next one is a reaction vid. Comment your ideas below.
And
if you want your idea in here, make sure to put it in there.
If you're gonna bring that on the show, you gotta decorate it better.
It's Under Armour.
I rest my case.
Cool. So.
Well, that's all we got for tonight, and we will see you next time.